ஓம் புளியர்கோன் வெப்பொழித்த புகலியர்கோன் கடல் போற்றி ஆழிமிசை கண்மிதப்பில் அணைந்த பிரானடி போற்றி வாழி திருநாவலூர் வன் தொண்டர் பதம் போற்றி ஒளிமலை திருவாத ஊரர் திருத்தாள் போற்றி தானனை முன் படைத்தான் அதறிந்துதன் பொன்னடிக்கே நானென பாடலந்தோ நாயினேன் என்னை பொருட்படுத்து வானென்னை வந்தெதிர்கொள்ள மத்த யானை அருள் புரிந்து ஊனுயிர் வேறு செய்தான் முடித்தான் மலை உத்தமனே மண்ணுலகில் பிறந்து நம்மை வாழ்த்தும் வழியடியார் பொன்னுலகம் பெறுதல் தொண்டனே நின்று கண்டொழிந்தேன் வெண்ணுலக தவறுகள் விரும்ப வெள்ளையானையின் மேல் என் உடல் காட்டுவித்தான் நொடித்தான் மலை உத்தமனே இந்திரன்மால் பிரமன் எழிலார் மிகு தேவரெல்லாம் வந்ததிர்கொள்ள என்னை மத்த யானை அருள் புரிந்து மந்திர மாமுனிவர் இவனாரன எம்பெருமான் மந்திர மாமுனிவர் இவன் ஆரியன எம்பெருமான் நம் தமர் ஊரனென்றான் முடித்தான் மலை உத்தமனே ஓழிதோரோழி மற்றும் உயர் பொன்னொடித்தான் மலையை சூழிசையின் கரும்பின் சுவை நாவல ஊரன் சொன்ன ஏழிசையின் தமிழால் இசைந்தேத்திய பத்தினையும் ஆழி கடலறையான் அஞ்சையப்பர்க்கு அறிவிப்பதே சிவாய திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். சிவாய திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். ஓம் நம சிவாய. Welcome to our group. We're learning Sri Rudram. It's also called Satarudriyam. Now, before we go into the learning classes, this particular class is intended to be an introduction to understand the importance of Sri Rudram. The reason to understand the importance is that when you're planning to invest time, your valuable time into this, you should know that is it really worth it. So for anything, for you to make an effort and spend time and put in a lot of efforts, it should be worth your time and effort. So that's the purpose of this particular introductory video, to explain to you why Sri Rudram is so important. So, what we will do, we will use this particular scripture called Shiva Bhakta Vilasam. And what is said in that scriptures about the glory of Sri Rudram through the words of Sri Agastya. Now, before that, there is a little history about this Shiva Bhakta Vilasam. Shiva Bhakta Vilasam is a Sanskrit compendium of the history of 63 Nayanmars. Now, all of us know, most of us do, that the 63 Nayanmar history is recorded in what's called Periya Puranam. So you have Shiva Puranam, you have Vishnu Puranam, but the book that contains the stories and the history of devotees is called Periya Puranam. It's a big one. So it's just not called Adiyar Puranam, it's called Periya Puranam. So that we all know. But then not many of us know that there is a Sanskrit version for this. And this is how it came about. And the credit and the origin goes to Nambiarurar, and that's the reason I began this little introduction with Nudithan Malai Uttaman Padigam, because that's how this Sanskrit version originated. So when Nambiarurar from Thiruvanjaikalam rode that white elephant Airavadam all the way to Kailash, in Kailash, sage Upamanyu was with his disciples, and then all of a sudden, sage Upamanyu stood up, looked up towards the sky, and started folding his hands and worshipping. And the disciples couldn't understand, and they asked him, "Sir, who are you worshipping?" So Upamanyu said, "That is Nambiarurar, popularly known as Sundaramurti Nayanar, is going to Kailash, riding on a white elephant." And then the disciples were curious as to know that sage himself is standing up and paying his respects and worshipping this great Nambiarurar. So, sir, please, can you tell us his history or story? So that's how this came about. So in the course of narrating Nambiarurar's story, he ended up explaining all the 63 Nayanmars. So this is available to us as Shiva Bhakta Vilasam. Now in that, chapter 36 is about Rudra Pashupati Nayanar. As an introduction to that chapter, Sage Agastya has given us a beautiful passage in Sanskrit as to why this Satarudriyam should be chanted. And after that, they go and narrate the story of Rudra Pashupati Nayanar, who chanted nothing but Rudram. Now, how come we didn't know about this Shiva Bhakta Vilasam all these days? And how come we do know it now? The credit goes to Ramana Ashram, to Ramana Maharshi. And on the slide here, you see his own writing there. This is all his own writing. So Ramana Maharshi found out that there is this version in Sanskrit. So then he made his own notations on that. So he made a lot of notations in his own writing. This is all Ramana Maharshi's writing. So and he made some notes to himself, and this is all his own handwriting. Then the Ramana Ashram published a book on the Shiva Bhakta Vilasam. Is available from Ramana Ashram now. So it's called Shiva Bhakta Vilasam, as narrated by Sage Upamanyu and Skanda Purana. So, and there's an English translation also by Lingeswar Rao. So this is Ramana Ashrama publication. So that's what we are going to talk about as an introduction to Sri Rudram. And this is all Ramana Maharshi's. So he is noted in Tamil. So there are little changes. Changes means that some of the 69 Mars names are changed slightly. Change means not to indicate a different person, but to suit the Sanskrit language, they changed the names a little bit. And then for that, Ramana Maharshi has made a notation giving who that particular Nayanmar is. So you can say 39 Gananathar, 40 Kutruvar, so then Poyyadimai Illa Pulavar, Puhalcholan, 43 Narasimha. This is all Ramana Maharshi's handwriting. So this is how this thing came about. So then we have this in Periya Puranam, we have Uruttara Pasupati Nayanar's stories narrated. So this is how it begins. I have given a couple of those passages here. Karayil Kambalai Pulloli Karangida, Marung Pirasamen Surumbu Arindida, Karuvaral Virolum Nerai Nadungayal Niridai, Nerupulundanaya, Virai Nehilda Sengamala Men Poigayul Mevi. Karayil Kambalai Pulloli Karangida. The birds are chirping on the banks of this pond, tank. Marunga Pirasamen Surumbu Araindida. All these bees are hovering around and humming around. Surumbu Araindida, humming around the flowers. Karuvaral Viralum, and the fish, Varal fish is in the water. Nedungayal. And the fishes are swimming around in the water. And then what else is in that water? The fire like red lilies are there. And in that, he entering into that, Poigayul maybe. So that's why he entered into that Poigayul maybe. Then what he did? Tallu Tanbunal Kaluthalavayidai Cheria. Tallu Tan Punal. Tallu clean, Tan cold. The clean, cool water up to his neck. Tallu Tan Punal Kaluthu Alavayidai Cheria. Ullurapukkunindri, entering into the pond in such a way that that clean, cool water was up to his neck. What did he do? Kai Uchimer Kuvittu. He raised his arms over his head and folded his hands. Uchimer Kuvittu. He didn't do this flying kiss like they do these days. When they go to a temple, they do this. How when they drive by a temple, they give a flying kiss. Very well. What a generation. Degradation. But anyway, so Nindru Kai Uchimer Kuvittu Tallu Vendirai Gangai Neer Tadumbiya Sadayar. Look at secular's handling of these beautiful words. He just need to say that Lord Shiva is holding Ganges. But then the Ganges he describes here as if you can visualize it. Here it's just like he creates for you a visual picture. Like you can almost, he brings that pictorial view. You're actually as if you were there. So Tallu Vendirai Ganganir. What kind of a Ganges? What kind of a Ganges? The Ganges whose flowing water carries forward this white foam. Tallu Vendirai. Tallu means that one that's moving fast. That raft, that rapids, we call whitewater rapids. So the rapids with all the foam of this, and then that water is carrying this. That Ganges is one who holds that Ganges Sadayar. On the love of him, Tadumbiya Sadayar Ollum Anbinil, with the love of Lord Shiva, who carries his Ganges on his head. What did Rudra Pashupatinath do? Urittiram Kuripodu Vaindrar. He learned Rudram with a one-pointed focus. Kuripodu Vaindrar. Then what happened after that? Arumarai Payanahiya Urittiram Adanai, Varumurai Perum Pagalum Yelliyum Valuame, Tirumalar Pohuttirundavan Anayavar, Selanal, Urumai Vitida, Umaidam, Mahildavar Vandar. See how secular describes Rudram here. Arumare Payanahi Rudram. Arumare means all the Vedas, the glorious Vedas, the rare Vedas, the special Vedas. Arumare. Payan, the fruit of the Vedas. Secular describes Rudram as the fruit of the Vedas, which means you can study all the Vedas, but if you don't study Rudram, it's wasted. So Arumare Payanahi Rudram. In other words, if you chant Rudram, if you learn Rudram, then it's as good as chanting all the Vedas. Arumare Payanahi Rudram. So that's eating the fruit, right? So Arumare Payanahi Rudram, the fruit of the Vedas, Rudram. What did he do? He chanted it all the time. Arumurai Perum Pahalum Yelliyum Valuame without fail. Night and day. Then, so he chanted that. So secular describes Uruttara Pasupati Nayanar as Brahma. Thirumalar Pohittirundavan Anayavar. Anayavar means like who? Like him. Like who? Like the one who is on the lotus flower, Brahma. The one, Rudra Pasupati Nayanar, who was like Brahma, chanted this Rudram. And then after a few days, Lord Shiva was so happy with him. Silanal Urimai Vitida Umayidam Mahilndavar Uvandar. Umayidam Mahilndavar means one who is happy with Uma Devi. He was happy. So then that's it. That's all. That's the only person you need to make happy. Don't make him angry. Then he becomes Rudra. That's all Rudram is about. Angry form of Shiva. So make him happy. So when you chant Rudram, he becomes happy. So when he becomes happy, all your karmas are dissolved. Okay, so that's the whole Rudram about. You have to make him happy. How to make him happy? Chant Rudram. That's what secular says beautifully here. Aneyavar Salanal Vorumai Vaitida Umayidam Mahilndavar Uvandar. So then what happened? Kadal Anbardam Arundava Permayim Kalanda Veda Mandira Niyadiyin Mihudiyim Virumbi Adi Nayagar Amarndarul Sayya Matravardam Tidila Nilai Chivaburi Ellayil Sendar. So Lord Shiva liked what he did. Virumbi means he liked. What did he like? That the way the chanting of the Rudram, he liked it. Veda Mandira Niyadiyin Mihudiyim Virumbi, that he chanted this regularly. And what he did? Arul Sayya, he graced him. He graced Rudra Pashupati Nayanar. What? He took him to his abode. He granted refuge at his feet. So Rudra Pashupati Nayanar reached the feet of Lord Shiva. Tidila Nilai Shivaburi Yallayil Chenda. Tidila, that ever glorious. Tidila, never blemished. So Tidila, never blemished, ever glorious. Nilai Shivaburi Sendar. Okay, so that's how that secular describes Rudra Pashupati Nayanar and the glory of Rudram. Now let's see how Agastya describes it. This is Agastya. Rudram is all about Lord Shiva. It's called the Rudra Upanishad. The reason it's called Upanishad is because it talks about the oneness of everything. And what is that oneness? Is Lord Paratpara Parameshwara underlying everything. So who is the unity behind the diversity? The unity is Paratpara Parameshwara. Who had from that Paratpara Parameshwara, the whole cosmos is manifested. Vyakta Vyakta Nirupatincha Paramam Shatram Satatvadikam, like we do in Panchamaka Puja, like in Mahanyasam, like the Vedas say, that from the unmanifest oneness, Paratpara Parameshwara, formless Paratpara Parameshwara, unmanifest, the whole manifest cosmos came about. How? Through 36 tattvas. Vyakta Vyakta Nirupatincha Paramam Shatrim Sa Tattvadikam. So that's how through the 36, that's Saiva Siddhanta. Vedas talk about Saiva Siddhanta. So through the 36 tattvas, he manifested into the whole cosmos. And that's pretty much what Rudram is. Rudram just says, Lord Shiva is here, Lord Shiva is there, he is in the tree, he is in the leaf, he is in the green grass, He's in the yellow flower, he's in the red rose, he's in the pink rose, he's in the lavender rose. So all roses. So that's what he is. He is in the fish, he's in the pond, he's in the pig, he's in the dog, and he is in the owner of the dog. So the dog and the owner are one and the same. The dog and the owner are one and the same. And he is in the demon, he is in the divine, he is in the devil, he is also in the divine. So everything is him. So Reshmya is a tapya, he is a lightning, he is a thunder. Vatyaya is a Reshmya is a Vastapaya. So that's Rudra. So that's what Rudram is. So when you chant this, obviously he'll be happy. When you chant Rudram, because we worship Rudra in this beautiful 300 names called Rudra Trishati. That's taken from Rudram. Every Sunday when you do Abhishekam here, our Archana is first with Rudra Trishati Archana. Namo Hiranyabhave Namaha, Senhanye Namaha, Deshanchapatahe Namaha, Vrikshebhyo Namaha, Harikeshebhyo Namaha. See, right away they talk about Lord Shiva as being in the trees, Vrikshebhyo Namaha, and then the one who is green-haired, not the punks that you see with the green hair. Lord Shiva's green hair is the leaves of the trees and the vegetation. So that's all it is. So let's see what Agastya has to say. Vedasarena yedevam mahantam samupasate na garbhavasa sankleshastesham bhuyo dujottama. So we'll see it one by one. Vedasarena yedevam, the essence of the Vedas, the goal of the Vedas. Who is that? Parameshwara. One who worships him, one who do upasana to him, samupasate, through the Rudram. You do upasana to him, either Rudra Abhishekam, Rudra Homam, or just by chanting it. When you do all that, Agastya uvacha Vedasarena yedevam mahantam samupasate nagarbhavasa sankleshas tesham bhuyo dujottamam. So, anyone who worships Lord Shiva through the Rudram, they don't have to go through the cycle of birth and death. The essence and goal of the Vedas, that's Lord Shiva. So when you do that, worship him, you don't have to go through the affliction, the klesha of coming back into another womb, Garbhavasam. Okay. So now, even if you're born in a Vedic family, if you don't chant Rudram, if you don't learn Rudram, that birth is wasted. And then, if you think you can attain moksha by other means other than worshipping Lord Shiva, then it's as if you think that you can fulfill your hunger without eating. You may do Ashwamedha Yagam, Ishtvapi Hayamedhena, Ashwamedha Yagam, Hayamedhena, Ishtvapi Hayamedhena, Punaravartate, you would still come back, Punaravartate, even if you do Ashwamedha Yagam. But you don't have to spend crores of rupees doing Ashwamedha Yagam. Just sit in your house and do Satarudriya Japam. Satarudriya Japakranhi Bhuyo Nivartate. That's the only way that you're not going to come back here. Okay. And then what else? So it removes all the worst of your sins called Panchamahapatakas, Panchamahapapam. Theyam Krtva Suram Pitva Bhutva Vigurudharagaha Yadi Pramanam Amnayo Rudradhyaya Vimuchyate. Amnaya means your scriptures, the ones that's coming from ancient times. If you accept the scriptures according to the scriptures, one who chants Rudram is relieved from the Panchamahapatakas. And what? Then, just as the sun dispels the darkness, so also the sins of the person who chants Rudram are dispelled, and not only the sins are dispelled of him alone, but also people around him to get benefit too. And then what else? Even if someone has done gohatya, apigogna kritajneva shatarudriya mantratah linge shivam samabhyarcha lipyate nabjapatravat. Nabjapatram is like lotus leaf. So when someone committed even the worst sin of gohatya, killing a cow, or other panchamahapatakas, his sins will roll off like a drop of water of a lotus leaf. So whatever he does in the sansara doesn't bind him. So be like a water on a lotus leaf. That's what happens to him. You don't have to do anything. If you just chant Rudram, your karmas don't bind you. And your old stock also gets burnt out. And then to such an extent, Agastya says, even Brahma comes to cleanse his impurities by the dust of the feet of the one who chants Rudram. Right? And then what? Of all the mantras, Satarudriyam is like the sun among all the other lights. Like you have a lamp, you have a candle, you have this, that, all that. So different kind of lamps. So for all that, petromax, kerosene lamp, this lamp, that lamp, candle. So all the other lamps, oil lamp, all the other lamps, ghee lamp. The sun is the brightest of all. So same way of all the other mantras, mantra koti shu satarudriyam uttamam. Of all the crores of mantras, supreme is satarudriyam. Okay, now look at this one. Wow. Sadyo jhatadhirbhantre dhrutva basmabhimantritam yo jabakshatarudriyam dhrutarudrakshamalikah. Wearing vibhuti upon which the Sadyojhata mantras have been chanted. Sadyojhatam prapadhyami Sadyojhataya vai namo namah. Wearing the vibhuti and then wearing a Rudrakshamala and chanting Rudram. When you do Abhishekam, look at the results. What happens? You do Abhishinchati Mahabaho Mahadevam Maheshwaram. When you worship Mahadevam Maheshwaram with Abhishekam, Abhishinchan Mahabhago Mahadevam Maheshwaram, which means Shivlingam. Hiranyabhagave Namaha Mahabhago Mahadevam Maheshwaram. When you do that, what happened? Trisapta Kula Mudritya. Trisapta, 3 times 7. 21 generations get liberated. What happens to you? Shivalokam ahiyate. And you go to Shivalokam too. Not like you get these, the letters they used to, I don't know if they still do it. Nowadays, we used to get letters when somebody passed away, Sivaloga Padavi Adaindar. But that's honor way of saying not everybody goes to Sivaloka, okay? So if you chant with them, that is just an honorable way of saying it. Says, oh, he kicked his bucket. That's a crude way of saying. So they say Sivaloga Padavi Adaindar. Okay? So, but here you really get the moksha, you get liberated without dying. Without dying, you could become deathless. How you become deathless? Because you are immortal at the feet of Lord Shiva. Okay. Trambakam Majamahe Sugandim Pushtyata Urvarkam Bandana Mutyor Mukshemata Ma Amrita. So you will never come back from here. That's a prayer. Amrita, from that immortal state. Shiva, don't release me. So that's what happens when you chant Rudram. 21 generations get moksha, released from their bondage. All your ancestors, 21 generations, not 1 or 2. So what you have to do? 3 things. Wear a vibhuti, wear Rudrakshamala, chant Rudram, and do Abhishekam to Lord Shiva. Easy. But first you have to learn the Rudram. That's why these classes are started. It's easy to learn. Okay. And also, just as the Vedas remain pure, untouched by any affliction, so also one who chants Rudram will not be touched by any afflictions, any kind of impurities, whether it's impure food or act of receiving anything from anybody. So that won't affect him, that won't bother him. So don't go out getting things from people. Not good. Anyway, so this is what the Agastya Vacha ends with. Itihasam Badaneham Shrunut Shuddhaya Dujaha Shruttvaya Shatarudriye Puman Bhavati Bhaktiman. So please listen to. So Agastya says, please now pay attention to Upamanyu Rishi's narration of Rudra Pashupati Nayanar's story. When you listen to his story, you yourself become a great devotee. Srutvaya Chatarudriya Puman Bhavati Bhaktiman. So, Puman, you become a Bhaktiman. And listen to this Itihasam. It means history, not story. Om Namah Shivaya. So we'll thank Namtamaruran Research Center, Singapore, for arranging to take the teachings of Rudram and facilitating the learning of Rudram to many devotees. There's been a wonderful response, a great response. As soon as we posted the announcement, there are already about 75 devotees. So I think Namtamaruran Lavanyaji was planning to close that because it's difficult to handle so many people. So the way this is going to be done is that you will have a video every day with 2 riks from the first Anuvakam, which would be, rik is for 2 lines, and then 2 riks means 4 lines. And then after you learn to chant it, then the next one. So every week we will all assemble together through Zoom and then check out each other. So if there's any correction needs to be done, those corrections will be given. Om Namah Shivaya. May Parameshwara be with you on this wonderful journey of learning Satarudriyam. Looking forward to a day when at least 21 of you can chant the Rudram. Bring all of you to our Tiruvannamalai ashram and do either a Maharudram. And then when 100 of you can chant, 121 of you can chant, we do an Atirudram with all of you. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.